I found a mysterious key in my wife's gym bag, and when I asked about it, she quickly said, "Oh, that's just from my locker." But something in her voice felt off. While she was out, I drove to her gym, pretended to be a new member, and accidentally asked the staff if I could check out the lockers. When I slipped the key into one and opened the door, what I saw inside completely destroyed me. I never thought I'd be the guy writing one of these posts. You know, the ones where someone finds out their spouse is cheating and their whole world collapses. But here I am, typing this out because I need to get it off my chest. My wife, Sarah, and I have been married for 12 years. We met in college, fell in love, and built a life together in Seattle. We have 2 kids, a beautiful home, and what I thought was a solid marriage. Sarah works as a marketing manager, and I run a small IT consultancy. A few months ago, Sarah started going to the gym more frequently. She said she wanted to get back in shape, and I was supportive. She'd come home sweaty and tired but happy. I was proud of her commitment. Then, one day, I noticed a small key in her gym bag. It was one of those tiny padlock keys, the kind you'd use for a locker. I picked it up, curious, and when I asked her about it, she quickly said, "Oh, that's just from my locker." But something in her voice felt off. She was too quick to answer, and her tone was defensive. That night, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. I tried to tell myself I was being paranoid, but the thought kept nagging at me. So, the next day, while Sarah was at work, I decided to drive to her gym. I pretended to be a new member interested in joining and asked if I could check out the facilities. The staff was friendly and gave me a quick tour. When we got to the locker room, I told the staff member I wanted to see how the lockers worked. She showed me the rows of lockers and explained that members could bring their own locks or rent one. I thanked her, and when she left, I quickly pulled out the key from my pocket. I walked down the rows, trying the key on each locker. Finally, one clicked open. My heart was pounding as I opened the door. Inside, there was a small duffel bag. I hesitated, then reached in and unzipped it. What I found inside destroyed me. There were lingerie, a bottle of perfume I didn't recognize, and a burner phone. I turned on the phone, and it was unlocked. There were texts from someone named Jake. The messages were explicit, talking about their encounters and plans to meet again. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I sat down on the bench, trying to process what I just discovered. My wife, the woman I loved and trusted, was cheating on me. I took photos of everything and put the bag back exactly as I found it. I left the gym, went home, and waited for Sarah to return. When she walked through the door, I confronted her. I showed her the photos and asked her to explain. At first, she denied it, but when she saw the evidence, she broke down and confessed. She said she met Jake at the gym, and it started as innocent flirting. It escalated into an affair, and she used the locker to keep their rendezvous a secret. I was devastated. I couldn't believe the woman I shared my life with could betray me like this. I told her to leave, and she moved in with her sister. It's been a few weeks since that day, and I'm still trying to pick up the pieces. I'm seeing a therapist and focusing on my kids. They don't know the full story, just that Mom and Dad need some time apart. I don't know what the future holds, but I know I deserve better. I wanted to share my story here because I know I'm not alone. If you're reading this and going through something similar, stay strong. You will get through this. After Sarah moved in with her sister, I thought I'd feel some sort of peace. But instead, my mind kept racing, non-stop. I kept going over every moment we had together. All the times she said, "I love you." All the nights she stayed out, late at work. All the phone calls she'd take in another room. Suddenly it all felt different. Everything had a shadow behind it now. A week later, I was sitting in my car outside our house, well, my house now, when I saw her drive up. She didn't text. Didn't call. She just showed up. I stepped outside. "What are you doing here?" She looked nervous, like she didn't know what to say. "I need to get a few things. Some clothes. My charger." I let her in. I didn't say much. Watching her move around like everything was normal made me sick to my stomach. Then she stopped at the hallway closet, the one where we kept random stuff, umbrellas, board games, old photos. I watched her open it and start digging. That's when I noticed something odd. She pulled out an old shoebox. I recognized it immediately. It was where we used to keep cards and notes from when we first dated. But when she opened it, I saw it wasn't those old memories anymore. Inside were more burner phones. I lost it. What the hell is this? She looked frozen for a second. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. These aren't from just one affair, are they? I asked. My voice cracked. She looked down and said nothing. How many? I yelled. I'd never yelled at her before. Ever. Still nothing. Just her holding the box like it had answers she couldn't give. That's when I started piecing things together. The way she always kept her phone face down. The solo trips she said were spa weekends. The gym membership she got before this one, and the one before that. This wasn't new. She sat on the couch like her legs gave out. She started crying, but I couldn't feel sorry. I was staring at a stranger. I don't know why I did it, she finally said. I love you, I do. But I felt empty. Like I needed something else. I didn't respond. I couldn't. I was somewhere else in my mind. A few days later, I got a message on Facebook from a guy I didn't recognize. The message just said, "Hey man, I think we should talk. I've been seeing your wife too. Didn't know she was married until now." His name was Rob. I agreed to meet him at a coffee shop near the University of Washington. When I got there, he looked just as uncomfortable as I felt. He was probably in his mid-30s. He had a manila folder with him. I met her on a dating app, he said. She told me her name was Clara. Said she was separated. We were seeing each other for almost 8 months. 8 months. That overlapped with birthdays, holidays, nights she said she had to work late. Every word he spoke hit me like a hammer. He pushed the folder across the table. I didn't know until a friend of mine recognized her in a photo and told me she's married. That's when I started digging. Inside the folder were screenshots. Dozens of them. Photos. Chat logs. Emails. Her in different outfits, different names. She was using multiple fake identities to meet different men. Some of the pictures I wish I could erase from my mind. I was numb. I felt like I was in a movie, except I was the one getting played. She's dangerous, Rob said. This isn't just cheating. She's manipulating people. She told me she loved me, man. That night I sat in my car in our driveway again. The house was dark, quiet. I stared at the front door for a long time, not knowing what was real anymore. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. You should have never opened that locker. My stomach dropped. I didn't recognize the number, but I knew the tone. Was it Jake? Someone else? One of the others? I responded. Who is this? No reply. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound made me jump. I checked the locks on the doors 3 times. I stayed downstairs with the lights on until sunrise. This wasn't just a broken marriage anymore. It felt like I had uncovered something darker. Something hidden. And now someone didn't like that I knew. The next morning, I went through Sarah's laptop. She had forgotten to log out of her cloud account, and out of desperation more than curiosity, I started looking for anything, photos, emails, files. That's when I found a folder called Personal. Inside were receipts, lots of them. Hotels. Cash withdrawals. Gifts. Even airline tickets. One flight stood out, Seattle to Vancouver, round trip. A weekend I remember vividly because she had told me she was at a corporate retreat in Portland. I clicked into her email, and that's when things really took a turn. There were messages not just from men, but from women. Some of them were sending her money through Venmo, others asking when she'd be available again. The tone wasn't romantic, it was business. Cold. transactional. I kept reading and slowly pieced it together. She was working as a high-end escort on the side. Not just a one-time thing. Full-blown double life. I sat there in disbelief, rereading the same emails. Thank you for last night, Clara. You're worth every dollar. You said no kissing, but next time maybe? Loved the red dress. The same red dress she wore to our anniversary dinner 2 years ago. I couldn't stop shaking. My mind started connecting dots I didn't even know were dots. The gym was a front. Not just to meet people, but for privacy. For stashing things. For organizing meetings without suspicion. That locker was only the tip of a massive iceberg. Later that day, I called Rob, the guy I met at the coffee shop. Told him I needed to talk again. When we met up, I shared what I'd found. He looked shocked, then angry, then defeated. She scammed me, he muttered. She really ing scammed me. He told me about the time he lent her $5,000 for what she said was a medical emergency. He never saw it again. After he left, I sat in my car, still processing everything, when another message came through my phone. We warned you to stop digging. Attached was a photo of my youngest daughter. At school. On the playground. That's when fear took over. I drove straight to the police station and filed a report. I told them everything, what I found, the threats, the photo. They took it seriously, especially when I showed them the burner phone messages and the email history. They started looking into it. That night, Sarah called. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail, crying. You don't know what you've done. You're putting all of us in danger. Please just let it go. But it was already too late. The next day, 2 plainclothes detectives knocked on my door. They had questions. About Sarah. About her business. About a man named Victor. I didn't know a Victor. They showed me a photo, him, with Sarah. At a bar. Arms around each other. Same red dress. The same bar just 3 blocks from our house. Victor, they told me, was a known figure in a high-end escort ring being investigated for fraud, blackmail, and potential trafficking. And my wife, well, ex-wife, was a person of interest. She was more than a participant. She might have been helping run it. It was too much. I felt like I'd stepped into someone else's life. Some Netflix crime drama, except it was my living room, my phone, my family. My kids were staying at my parents' house now. I couldn't risk them being here. And then one night, while I was going through my mail, I found an envelope tucked inside a stack of flyers. No return address. Just my name. Inside was a USB drive. It had videos. Dozens of them. All of Sarah. With clients. With Victor. With people I didn't recognize. Hotel rooms. Laughter. Money changing hands. It was her world. And I had stumbled deep into it. I called the lead detective and handed it over. He looked at me and said, "This changes everything. No one's been arrested yet. But I'm being followed. I can feel it. Every time I turn a corner too fast, or a car behind me makes all the same turns, I feel my pulse jump. I don't know what's coming next. But I know this isn't just about cheating anymore. This is something else. And now I'm in it." It all came crashing down 2 weeks after the USB showed up. The detectives said they were close to making arrests. They just needed more evidence, someone inside willing to flip. Sarah hadn't spoken to me since her voicemail, but she must have known I gave the USB to the police. The text stopped. The threats stopped. But the silence was louder than anything. Then the cops asked me to come in. They had a plan. They wanted to draw Sarah out, to confront her in a controlled environment. A place where she'd feel like she still had control. A place she wouldn't expect to be wired, monitored. So, they asked me to set up a meeting. I texted her from a new number, said it was urgent, said I needed to talk, just the 2 of us. I told her I missed her. That I just wanted answers. She agreed to meet at the cafe where we first met. She chose the time. I chose the booth with the hidden mic under the table. When she walked in, it was like she stepped out of another life. Hair curled, makeup perfect, dressed like she was going to dinner, not a conversation that might end with handcuffs. She sat down like nothing was wrong. Like we were old friends. She smiled. "Still drink your coffee black?" she asked. I didn't answer. Her smile faded. "You really hate me now, don't you?" I just stared. "You don't understand what it's like," she started, eyes already watery. "Living a life you didn't choose. Being trapped in a perfect marriage you didn't want." I kept quiet. Let her speak. Every word was being recorded. I never planned to fall into that world. But it was easy. So easy. And I felt powerful for once. Not just Sarah, the mom, or Sarah, your wife. I was someone else. I liked who I became. "You mean Clara?" I said. She flinched. "Clara, Lena, Vanessa? However many names you had." She was shaking her head. "It wasn't just about sex. It wasn't even about the money at first. It was freedom. Attention. You didn't look at me anymore, not like you used to. So that's my fault?" I asked, louder than I meant to. Heads turned. The cafe quieted. "You think I drove you into a double life?" I asked again, this time quieter, slower, clearer. "You think I deserve this?" She didn't answer. Then the door opened behind her. Victor walked in. I didn't recognize him at first. But the detectives had shown me his photo. He was bigger in person, well-dressed, but with eyes that didn't blink enough. He looked at her, then at me. "You brought him?" she hissed. Her voice cracked. "No," I said. "He brought himself." The police moved fast. They swarmed the place, quiet but swift. No guns drawn, just control. Victor didn't fight. He looked at Sarah and said nothing, but his eyes burned. She stood, panic in her voice. "You set me up." "You said you missed me?" "I meant it," I said. "I missed the person I thought you were." She tried to run, but they had her. Handcuffs. Silence. And then murmurs from people watching, some recording on their phones. The ride home was a blur. I barely remember the cops thanking me, the detective saying, "You probably saved lives." It didn't feel like a win. Later that night I sat with my daughters. I didn't tell them the truth, not the whole truth. Just that Mom made some bad choices and needed help. My oldest, 9, looked at me and asked, "Did she stop loving us?" I had no answer. The days after, people started talking. Friends. Neighbors. Her sister came to the house, furious, blaming me. She needed help. She was spiraling, and you turned her in. She endangered our kids. I said. She dragged strangers into our lives. Don't talk to me about spiraling. We haven't spoken since. I filed for divorce. I didn't want to, but I couldn't live in the wreckage anymore. The court hearings are still ahead, but custody is in my favor, for now. I hired a therapist for the girls. For me, too. Rob messaged me again, just to say thank you. I didn't have the strength to confront her. You did. You probably saved me from getting deeper. But I didn't feel heroic. I felt hollow. I stare at our wedding photos sometimes. The smiles look fake now. Or maybe they were real, and the fake came later. I'll never know when she started lying. I'll never know if any of it was real. Sometimes I think I saw it all coming and chose not to believe it. I don't feel angry as much anymore. Just tired. Sad. I miss having someone to talk to at the end of the day. I miss who I thought she was. But in the quiet, in the mess, I learned something. You can love someone and still let them go. You can be loyal, and still walk away. Because love without truth is just a performance. And I'm done being part of a show. So I'm rebuilding. Not rushing anything. Just living one honest day at a time. I still don't know what's next. But at least now, I'm not living in someone else's lie. And for the first time in years, that feels like enough.